That's very good.
You all right, Lee?
Yeah, sound. How's you, Jack?
Good.
Sound.
Yeah, it's great to be on before we enter the broadcast studio. Yeah, I'm not going to do
man.
too long. Probably about an hour and a half, something like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, that's cool.
yeah,
Sounds good to me.
yeah. Right,
Yeah,
so
Shell, yeah.
Oh, guys, they do.
all right, mate.
No good.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, I'll probably just do like an hour and a half or something like that. But just need to talk to some people really, because I haven't really talked to. Okay, I don't really talk to people that make sense. Do you know what I mean? Most people these days I just can't talk to. So
yeah. Sounds good to me, Jack.
Yeah, I think we're going live and should be going live now.
Yeah, so no problem on my end.
We are live. We've been live.
Are we live?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell. Hi, everyone. So today we've got Lee Roden and we've got Shill Destroyer. And we're just going to talk a load of, I don't know, interesting things, I guess. But yeah, I had a bit of a, when you have one of those realizations yesterday when I saw a rainbow. I saw a rainbow when I was walking, Shill.
I seen that.
And I had a realization about something. So I've looked into some dark stuff, but then I've had a realization that I thought on that maybe what we're living on and what this place is it's like it's a big entertainment corporation. That's a positive theory that I have on it. I don't know if you want to.
Well, I think if anyone's ideas of what the world is right now is totally, nobody can argue them, right? Because nobody knows. So I think that the fact that I've seen the sky in a completely different way with my own eyes, right? So and it looked like a backdrop, and I explained it as an amphitheater, right?
Yeah, you did. I remember you saying. And yeah. The way I looked at it is it's just one big entertainment corporation. They can make things seem as real. I mean, they can make things seem so real, can't they? So maybe I had a theory. It's just on the good side of it, the positive side is that maybe all this is just for our entertainment, if you know what I mean.
Or someone else's, right? Somebody's watching in.
Or someone else's entertainment, yeah. And maybe it's all just an illusion. And my other thought is, when you look at all this stuff with the DJ website and the population and stuff like that, what if that's just because I don't, that YouTube video I sent you, Lee, researcher, I think it was. He mentioned that maybe it's all just a game. It's all just a game, and it's just there for us just to look, and we're on a journey. It's like an adventure, and it just came to my head that maybe we're a big part of a big entertainment corporation. And I get, I know this is hard for people to get, but like when you think about the years and the decades and centuries, right? I look at this. Get this. So think of each century as a season. So the first century is season 1. We're in the 21st century at the moment, so this is season 21, and each season has 100 years, doesn't it? I mean, each century has 100 years, and we can look at that as each season has 100 episodes. And so we're on season 21, the 21st century, and it's the 21st year of this century. So it's season 21, episode 21. Does that make sense?
It does, but then you got to think that 21 doesn't really exist, does it? Because that's just from the date of what they say with Christ and that. With the Christ and that, don't they? It's that age because you got before Christ and all that as well, ain't you? So you can't really. I know what you're saying. You could be doing in little loops because I do always think that sort of thing. What you're coming with there, but I wouldn't be so exact with the dates and that, if you know what I mean.
No. I mean,
but that's their dates, their codes. Yeah. No, I know where you're coming from. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, and it's just one of those positive things I've just thought about. Because despite all the dark stuff, maybe all this symbology and and all this stuff they put out with the, you know, the all the Masonic symbols and stuff. Maybe that's also part of the game. Maybe they want us people to find that out. Maybe I'm hoping anyway. There's nothing to it. I'm hoping there's nothing dark and sinister. I mean, there could be another side to it where, you know, where I don't know. Maybe it's just all a game. That's the positive theory I had on. That's the positive side of it, but it could be the opposite.
She also had a good theory about the, you know, the resources being used up. That's the best one I've heard from Shill, when he said about the petrol and that, because it all drains out just bang on time in the digital world, doesn't it, Shill? So
I mean, everything seems to be lined up perfectly, doesn't it? We know that, right? There's everything.
Yeah.
The technology as we see is just given to us little by little at specific times, and the car's 150 years of the petrol car, say, and then all of a sudden now they're doing away with it. It's almost like they've serviced the earth now. And how do we get rid of this? We need to drag it all out of the earth, and we need to get rid of it somehow. We'll give them all the cars, and then the people will go away. They'll and then in the early 2000s, of course, or late 1990s, they give us internet. Just at the time when all things were about to kick off really big, where everything was kind of peaceful. Sure, we saw IRA wars, you know, the news started to head that way in the 80s, 90s. But things kind of, you know, nothing like major. And then as soon as we enter the 21st century, boom, we start this terrorist, you know, it's all terrorist. We've got the internet, and all of a sudden on the internet, of course, they've literally put everything up there for us to find. So, you know, you've got
it's in the face.
Yeah, for those who want to find it, of course. So,
yeah,
I think I think there's a lot more to the story than meets the eye. And I don't, you know, I always say it, don't I? I don't think anyone really knows the true outcome of what the gameplay really is or why. You know, well, certainly not anyone in who's outside of the club that's not very, very, very high up in the club, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just a case, you know. I think you've still got to look at it. As long as people go along and take it as judgment, you know, whether they want to say it's a creator or the man judging them, but it's more themselves, isn't it? It's because I judge myself, right? I'm sure you two do. You're looking at yourself, because we could all go out there and be bastards, right? Being an arsehole, being a criminal, a scabby bastard, being nasty people, anyone can do that, right? The hard job is being the opposite, isn't it? Going around terrorizing children today, that's simple, isn't it? Anyone can do that. Most people are.
Yeah.
Fighting against it, that's the tough bit, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I even look at it like, you know, when you look at all the celebrities and everything, I think they've taken the bait. And in a way, they've been exposed and judged as well, because they took the bait, they sold their souls off, and, you know, and now they're completely controlled. And I'm sure many of them hate it now. But that's the way it is. And I think as well, I think they've been brainwashed. And I think the cult that they're part of is also brainwashing them. And I think they know fuck all either. I bet there's someone above them that is completely making them deluded.
It'd be a need to know thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, go on, Lee.
I was just gonna say it'd be a need to know thing, wouldn't it? In that situation, you ain't gonna be telling people information that they don't need to know.
Yeah. I've spoken to Freemasons who will stand up for Freemasonry and tell you, you know, don't be daft. We do good things. We help out. We do this, that, and the other. But again, they're just lower. You know, they're not. It's very much, I think, at a point in Freemasonry where they decide which side you're going to go on. Is he a greedy, selfish bastard who's just there because he's looking for the riches and he wants all the materialistic things, or is he here because he cares? You know,
that's what I mean. They choose the materialistic stuff and get all the money and all the fame and everything, and they just expose themselves what they really are. And it makes me wonder. So many of the celebrities get into drugs and alcohol, and you think why? And you know, we're told that it's just because of fame and everything, but I think there's some darker side to it.
Yeah, I think once you put yourself, if you're willing to sell your soul and be a nasty bastard, they'll happily take you as that actor and get you to do all the things they want you to do, right? And you'll go and do them. But everyone's being judged at the moment, I think. And I think there is a black and white side to the Freemasons, and it's black magic and white magic, right? So there's good and evil. And we're going through a time, obviously, and we've been going through a time probably for 40 years, 50 years of the evil coming out, maybe 400 years, right? But maybe now the white side's going to take over at some point. That's really all we can hope for, isn't it? Because we can't rely on the people. So we've got to hope inside this game, there's another side that's about to come out. That you know, it's just...
I just think that the celebrities are also they've been deceived as well. They think that they're at the top and all this, and they think that they're ahead and they know everything. But I think they're also been deceived. They've been used to expand the cult and for people to basically worship them while they worship fucking Satan or something. Like,
yeah. Well, it's power, isn't it? You know, it's like Phil says, isn't it? About like when he's doing his scribing on his walls. All the people who read it and that, and you know, you can take certain power from it, like, and the adrenaline rush of all these fans, right? That's what builds their egos, and it depends how you take it, right? You can take fans two ways, right? You can take them as a pinch of salt, yeah, they're just people like me, with the same level, right? Or you can go, look at me, I'm greater than them, and they all, yeah, look down at the fans, right? Which is what most of the most folk do, right? As soon as they get any fame, it goes to their head. They think they're something special, and you know, they turn into dicks, don't they? So again, I think that's the way the Freemasonry works, where they can choose. They can, you know, they're pretty good at what they do. They know their psychology, so they can easily see who's a scab and who's a decent guy. It might be the case they just get rid of the decent guys and go, yeah, out of my club, you're too good. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
hopefully not.
It's true. For me, fame's female and male ego. That's what it stands for. The FAME, female and male ego.
Wow.
Eats them up.
Yeah. It's,
well, I think. Go on, Shill.
I was just going to say, yeah, egos. You know, you see it every day, don't you? We've seen it from our school age, little boys with big egos. You know, we see how quite demoralising they become.
A lot of them as well are already rich. They already belong to rich parents, so they just, you know, they're in the rich. You know, that some of the families, because they're born into the right families, they become powerful and get into wealth, and you know, it's just they're just assholes.
Half of them famous people look related to me when I look at them. Do you know what I mean? They're not related in their second names, but you can almost see the same look in them. You can tell they're all the same bloodlines, without a doubt.
Yeah. I think I could be wrong. I could be right. It said something the other day that a lot of celebrities. Now this just might be the case that I'm not saying it's definite, but a lot of the celebrities have pierced blue eyes. It might be nothing, but
I think that could be lenses.
I did look into that, and it's kind of true.
I think that could be lenses, because they do those coloured lenses, don't they?
It could be, yeah. I mean, how do we even know that some of these celebrities are even real? That's what I think. I think some of them as well. Like, I think you've said, Shill, haven't you, before, that some of them play different roles. So, like, it could be one person playing like 5 different people or something like that.
Yeah, I would if I knew that, like they said, right, we're gonna tell you who Bill Gates' wife is, for example, right, and we could put bets on it. I'd definitely put a bet on her being Robin Williams, you know, and the Batman and the Robin, right?
Yeah.
I would put money that Boris Johnson is Rick Mail. I'd put money on it. Most people won't see it, of course, and I can't go shouting that about as a truth, because it's not. But I would, you know, in my opinion, which I don't like opinions, but you know, just based on we've
all got different ways of looking at it. And information's information. Whether right or wrong, we decide what we do with the information.
Yeah, and if you look at, I said before, Rick Mayall's name, right? It's almost Matrix all, Matrix all, right?
Yeah,
Rick Mayall.
I can see it more since you said it.
I was gonna say, another one that you've said it was about was is it Dr. Vernon Coleman and Jacob Rothschild?
Yeah. And then he suddenly he keeps jumping out and jumping back in, doesn't he? I don't know if he's still about.
Okay, I'm just going to play this role of exposing what I'm a part of in a way, but
there's psychological reasons behind everything at the moment, isn't there? Every one of their soul sellers is playing a part for a reason, but. Yeah. Again, without seeing the child abuse, without seeing the adrenochrome, without seeing the murders, this, that, and the other, I can't say for sure. It's not just because to me it's hearsay, and I don't like to work on hearsay, right?
No.
So I kind of have in the back of my mind, hopefully that's just all bullshit that they've given us for a reason because they need us.
That does make me think about all the satanic stuff we're told and all the symbols and everything. Is it really, really what it is, or is it just a load of bollocks?
Yeah, and I think really and truly, they're pointing to hell, right? But they're saying we're going to bring hell on. We're going to bring hell on the earth, right?
Yeah.
We're going to bring hell to the world, and I always say, earth is heart or hater, so it's heaven or hell, and it's the people ultimately that are bringing hell on the earth, isn't it? It's not. If the people weren't muzzled, weren't closing down their businesses, weren't suffocating children, everything would be fine right now, right? But as long as the people just go along with whatever that TV and the rich men says, they're the ones that do it.
Earth and Devil in Gematria have the same Gematria. So I'll just show you. I'll just tell you now. Hold on, let me search it. They have the exact same gematria in all the 4 base ciphers. You kind of have an idea of gematria, don't you? You two?
Yeah,
of course.
So Devil in gematria adds up to 52, 25, 83, 29. And Earth also adds to 52, 25, 83, and 29. So Earth and Devil have the exact same gematria. And as we know, like Devil backwards is lived, and live backwards is evil.
You have to question, when did they call it Earth, don't you?
Yeah.
When did they kick that in? Because it was it Gaia before Gaia, however you pronounce it, Gaia, isn't it? How you pronounce it? That's what they used to call it before, yeah?
Yeah.
So, and that would make you think that, like, the Satanism's got hold of the language at some point and just wants, like, Shill says,
change it. I think English is the... I could be wrong, but I think English is the satanic language. If it's Satanism and all that, because hell, hello, oh hell, and there's other ones
hell
like
as
morning,
well.
isn't there? Weekend.
Hell as well. It's He-Al, isn't it? The god.
Yeah.
Al, the gods. He-Al. So they've gone right through that English language how it is at the minute. But we've got so many words that are used for the same thing, so it's easy for them to do that with it.
Yeah, and besides that, they like you say, they tell us that God is is the creator, but it might be devil's the creator, right? Because they twist everything and turn it. But because we're so used to it, again, we find it very hard to start, going, the devil. I'm not saying it is, of course, but you see, the devil might be the good and the God might be the bad. But we don't know anything because they messed with our heads. They've messed with the language. We got no idea what we're saying most of the time. So I just, you just got to clear everything, haven't you? And have go into everything open-minded and try and figure things out for yourself. That's why I'm not asked with listening to too many people anymore because I'm not finding any real truth in them, right?
No. It's only theories, isn't it? It's only theories, and it's only based on what we can see. We don't actually know. I don't think anyone knows the truth, really. I don't know if there's a top few that do know the truth, but I think like 99.99999% of the people just don't know the full truth at all.
We probably haven't got a capacity to know it, have we, in our brains? Humanity hasn't got the capacity to know the real above and beyond.
What I find interesting is you've heard, Janus, the god Janus. Well,
Yeah,
he's got two faces, hasn't he? And we hear the word two-faced a lot, which seems to be the case for the deceivers, which we have in this world. And he's the god of two faces, and he is the god of time and time construct and doorways, passages, frames, endings, and gates. Interesting, Bill Gates.
Yeah,
just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that is a bit mad. I've seen that his second name means Janus as well, doesn't it? If you go back in the etymology, it was on that one you sent me, weren't it? Gates in etymology means what you were just on about. Janus. That's what it means. Janus, so Bill Gates is basically him in their symbolism.
Yeah,
that's what he was getting at in the video.
What I find interesting is I think with all this, everything like you said about all these gods and everything, and all these mythical creatures you see, the statues and all that you see all over the world. I mean, how the heck did they manage to do those statues, and how the heck did they manage to come up with that? Is my question.
It's almost unhuman, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very bizarre. And with the technology that they were told that they had back in the time, there's no way they would be able to do those statues. I don't think, but I mean, they must have been really creative. Makes me think that maybe they were more smart, more intelligent than what we were. I don't know.
Or
maybe there was. Pardon?
Or they did have the technology back then, like Shill said before. It makes sense.
Yeah, well, my documentary, I've got a documentary tomorrow that I've just put up. It premieres tomorrow about it basically backs my theory that all this has happened before, and this is nothing new. So this has all happened before, maybe in a different kind of reality, but all this has happened before on this earth. And when you look at some of the buildings, some of the buildings look absolutely incredible the way they're built, and there's no way even today that they could build them like that. And when you look at some of the ruins, some of them don't look like they've decayed. Some of them look like they've actually been nuked or something. It's really and this documentary is basically about what would happen to the world if all humans disappeared, and it just showed.
I've been waiting to watch.
Pardon?
I've been waiting to watch. I should have watched that by now because you sent it me a while back, didn't you?
I'm premiering it tomorrow, so
brilliant. Yeah, I'll watch it when you premiere it then.
Yeah,
that sounds good. Link some dots before you.
John Overkill actors beware is a real John Overkill or not?
Don't know. I don't even look over them. Oh, are they in the comments? Probably because Shill's here.
Yeah, I was going to block him. There we go. Right. So, it's interesting stuff because I think that this has all happened before. I think that all the buildings you see around the world, I think they're just when this documentary will basically show tomorrow that within 200 or 300 years, if it says what would happen if every human being disappears, and it showed places like London, Paris, New York, and within 200 or 300 years, all the buildings have disappeared. They've all gone. Nature's taken over.
Was there any robots? Was there, Jack?
What did you say?
Is there robots left on the planet, or was it just
no?
Nature?
It showed the part of the Eiffel Tower. Most of the Eiffel Tower was gone, but there was only a little bit of it left. But literally, all the cities were gone. There was no. It said at the end of the documentary that there was no evidence of a past civilization. There was only so few evidence of past civilizations that existed. It showed that the Big Ben was almost completely destroyed. It was full of trees, and he barely knew there was a city even there.
It's mad.
It makes me think that maybe it's happened before. Maybe there was a civilization like what we are today. Maybe they had stuff like smartphones thousands and thousands of years ago, and they probably do this. And I don't know if this is what reset is. I don't know, but yeah, I think it's interesting that maybe that all this has happened before, and that all this, what we see today with the technology and everything is nothing new. Maybe it's old technology. And when you look at legend, mirror, mirror on the wall, Snow White, and the legend of the mirror, the evil mirror that tells people how they look. And it's kind of like, when you look at that, it's like a scoring mirror, a black mirror. And that's exactly what we have today with the TVs and the smartphones. And when you look at the TVs, what's it called? Broadcasting. And what does it do? It casts a spell. Cast a spell, and it changes people's behaviour. That's exactly what a TV does. It's casting a spell and changing people's behaviour.
B-road casting.
Yeah. And when you look at every news channel, and it says live, doesn't it? Live from this studio, and it always says live in the right hand corner or something, doesn't it? And it says live. Well, it's basically evil. It says evil, so you've got evil on the top of your screen all the time. Well, they're telling you something, and it's changing people's behaviours.
Did you see that one I done earlier about Boris Johnson saying he was unleashing?
No, I haven't yet, mate. To be honest, I've been asleep most of the day.
Well, he said he's
unleashing earlier, but I fell asleep. Now I have to look at it.
Yeah, he said he's unleashing, and then the word of what they're unleashing had Satan in it, right?
Oh.
Without saying Satan, of course. Forget what word it was now.
Why did I block John?
Always coded in those news stories.
Yeah. I mean, it was quite funny that they picked that specific word, like, is it the headline?
I did watch it, but I'm trying to think what word it was here. I did watch a video about fucking an hour ago, so I should remember, but it's gone out of my head.
Nation, that's it. Nation.
Yeah.
And it's kind of got Satan in there, isn't it? Well, if you spell it with an O and I, but to me, it was like saying, unleashing Satan, right?
It's amazing though how they managed to pull this all off and trick us, though. It's you've got to admit it's so well done. Even because people are falling for it. We're saying that they're failing, but like, come on, mate. You just have to go in the streets, don't you, and go in the shops and just look at everyone.
Yeah,
it's true. One of Shill's videos this morning said the comments on YouTube do not reflect reality. It's like, what the fuck? You go in the town and that, and they're all masked up and just doing as they're told.
It's like you look at the news. It's like you can look at, like, I don't know, BBC News or Sky News, and you look at the comments on there. A lot of them are basically blasting out some truth and saying stuff. Oh, I'm not taking the jab or whatever. I'm not getting stung by the government and stuff like that. And it's a lot of them. But it's a totally different reality when you go out on the streets. It's weird.
Yeah, I think
Very
exactly. Yeah, it doesn't. What you're reading in there doesn't. And then you walk outside. It's like, wait, surely it is very strange.
Things just do not make any sense. I just don't. I'm getting more and more confused. The more I look into things now, the more I'm confused I am.
My explanation for that, what you're saying there, though, Jack, would be all them people that are outside with their masks on and that, they do not look at YouTube comments. They might watch the videos, they might, I don't know, but they're not down there reading what's being said and picking up things.
They don't want to know, a lot of them.
Yeah, there must be something that's blocking it out for them not to see it. It's like them in their face.
When you look at TV and you look at the TV shows that are out now, a lot of them are so silly. Like get these silly game shows and all this stuff like Keith. You know Keith Lemon, don't you? Keith Lemon and all this crap. They're basically dumbing down the celebrity, the masses deliberately. Stuff like Love Island, Big Brother, all this crap. Big Brother's an interesting one. Why is it called Big Brother with the one eye? I mean, it's and
Big Brother is always watching.
And it was Big Brother in 1984, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When it released? Oh, in the film, sorry. And They Live.
Was it They Live as well? Well, I think it was 1984 they called him Big Brother as well.
What I find interesting, right? I don't know if you
I can't remember now.
I don't know if you two have heard a song called, is it Somebody's Watching Me? It's Somebody's Watching Me and I Have No Privacy. That one. I can't remember what it's called now, but that get this. I think I've done a video on it, but get this. That was released in 1984.
Mad. Loads happened that year.
Yeah, it's Rockwell. Somebody's watching me. Released in 1984. So when I look at Rockwell, Orwell, and it's about Big Brother. That song's about Big Brother.
And then you got your Rockefellers as well with the Rock. Rockwell.
Yeah, and it's basically this is the lyrics for somebody's watching me. I'll just read it out.
Somebody's watching me. Is it that one?
Yeah, that one. This is the lyrics. So I'm just an average man with an average life. I work from 9 to 5. Hey, hell. It's got hell in there. I pay the price. All I want is to be left alone in my average home. But why do I always feel like I'm in the twilight zone? And I always feel like somebody's watching me and I have no privacy. I always feel like somebody's watching me, tell me, is this just a dream? Doesn't that relate to today?
Yeah, I mean, there's very few songs now I can listen to that I'm not going, I'm not picking something up from, right? My whole playlist on my music on YouTube is pretty much put together because it's talking to me, right? Most of the songs, anyway, not all of them, but most of them. They're saying something, especially the Oasis. I always talk about Oasis, right? Because they talking to me, right? They even say that, don't do it, young man, or whatever. Don't do it. I forget.
But
they'll go whatever way they want to go.
Freemasons.
Yeah. They definitely know. They know. They didn't write them songs. Again, the music, everything. I think it's part and parcel, right? It's all pre-done, probably years before, and then they bring it out at certain times when they, because again, like you said about that thing where you're going through these stages, it seems to be decades as well, doesn't it? Each decade is changing.
Yeah, they changed costumes, change costumes, change basically reality,
change the music, change the TV. Change what they're going to buy, what they're going to love, everything, right? Everything changes each decade pretty much. But we haven't seen massive change in the 21st century like we did in the 20th century, right? Every decade there was a change. But in the 21st century, it's not quite been as apparent, right? We've got the mobiles, we've got the thing. They've just given us a little bit more technology on it. The music is just been shit throughout. There's been very little good music that I've heard of. Anyway,
it's becoming more robotic, I think.
What's that?
Becoming more robotic. The music's becoming more robotic. It sounds like something a robot would listen to. Like, especially with all the drum and bass shit and everything. It's like boom, 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 boom. Like, I don't know, crazy.
I've got to be in the mood for certain music in that, but I do know what you're saying. It's all like, especially when the techno music come out, and I did used to listen to that, but it's I know what you're saying. It's like the beating that's trying to hypnotize and get a hold of people as such, isn't it? Do you feel? Is that what you're trying to say with the bass and the messages they're putting in it and that, obviously?
It's just
the movie.
I think it's just luring people into some. I don't know. I think they want to change. I think they want to change. I don't know what it is. I think they want to change the human race, don't they? Somehow, like just change it completely.
Well, we're in the 4th industrial revolution now, ain't we? And that makes every revolution. There's been a change in humanity in every revolution from the steam engine to now. So they're probably trying to make it into the transhuman. But then when you look at the barcode of life and all the transhuman Bill of Rights and that, it does look like it's all set up there. But then they could be putting that on the internet to get people all down rabbit holes as well, as such, couldn't they? So just because it's all attached to these legitimate sites, it doesn't mean that it's legitimate. We know how much they play with the info, so they can make it look like it's legitimate. Like the simulation of the asteroid hitting the Earth, and it could just be all bullshit just to make people talk about it, and get them all in fear.
I think that's what a lot of it is. It could be. And what's the other thing is? I forgot what I was going to say now. Is when you look at the music, the technology and the transhumanism. We talk about transhumanism and all that stuff, and I don't know. Yeah, what I find it. You ever seen a TV show called Black Mirror?
Yeah, of course. Not all of it, but I have seen
but
that.
there's a lot of. If you notice, there's a lot of Easter eggs telling them what's going to happen in the next episode.
Yeah, and then when you look at it, a lot of the stuff has already come into real life as well. You know, with the hologram concerts and that, they were doing that last year, weren't they? In the Corona, they're putting the hologram concerts and that up. So
yeah,
a lot.
In that show, Lee, is that they each episode of Black Mirror, they put a little Easter egg and a little predicted programming of what's to come in the next episode.
Well, I get what you're saying. Yeah, so it's just
it kind of relates to real life, really, doesn't it? When they put stuff about what's to come. So that's what makes me think about this could be just one massive show. So in Black Mirror, shill, they put what's going to happen in the next. So they'll put a little, I don't know, a poster of in the first episode of what's to come in the later episode in that TV show, and it's kind of related to real life.
Yeah, I remember. I don't remember Black Mirror. I did see it. That was one where they had had all these different weird fucking shit going on, right?
Yeah, I saw it each episode's its own. Each episode is a different story to tell with different actors.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, there was one where they all had phones and they're going around picturing the woman or something, and they're running. I can't remember, but I do.
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
freaky shit. But yeah, I think like there's definitely it's very hard, isn't it, to work things out when you've got to rely on the misinformation of the internet. You've got to it's one of them things I don't think we're ever going to really work out till we actually see the ending. If we see the ending, of course, and then we'll be able to go. Now I see. Hopefully,
I don't know if Lee's told you. Shill, but he sent me a link and I watched it. It was a video. It's saying that our world is like the time period is like every 80 years or something like that. It's set into blocks, and every 80 years it resets itself. So we have like a booming time, we have an awakening time, and then we have a crisis time period, and it happens every 80 years. I thought that was an interesting.
It's like it weren't on point for 80 years, but it was like a human lifespan, weren't it, Jack? It was.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Or is it every 72 years then? Because they say that the average man is 72, and we know that the Kabbalah and the Jewish people, they love the 72 and the 27, didn't they?
Yeah.
Well, he did. He made a big point of making sure that we knew it weren't bang on 80, didn't he, Jack?
Yeah, but they did point out though that we are in a crisis now. It led to now it went from 2008. This pointed out the 2008 financial crisis.
Yeah, he said the millenniums,
and I think it's supposed to. What's interesting, didn't they say it was supposed to end in 2029 or something? The crisis period. So that works out for Agenda 2030.
And he said the millenniums were here to save the planet, didn't it? And the older ones would let us down or something as well. It was weird. It all matched up to what was actually going on, didn't it?
This isn't even a truth seeker, was it? This was someone that's just talking.
Yeah, 'cause he was a bit pro Elon Musk in that as well, weren't he?
Yeah.
And
so he made it out like all this was real. He made it out like all this was real, and it's all so everything's real and everything happens like for a reason, but it seems to happen every 8 years. He made it out like it was a coincidence.
Yeah.
But it kind of relates to the Agenda 2030 if it ends in 2029.
Well, I think the agenda's got to 50, don't they?
Yeah, well, I think that'll be like another period from 2030 to 2050, maybe. I don't know.
The come down period. But it's funny.
I think that will be the revealing. Do you think that will be the revealing period?
I don't know, mate. I've got, I'm still hoping that it'll be 21st of June. Really, that's what I'm begging on, not betting on.
I'm hoping the TV does go away. I mean, I'm really fed up with hearing it every day now. It's boring. It's actually just.
That'll go. That'll disappear once the bank crash happens from the 5th of June. Then the headlines will change.
Then you've got the cyber attack. cyber attack, which is already kind of happening in America, but I think it's going to be. I think it will happen in the UK. I reckon they'll do a cyber attack.
It's a worldwide one. Like it's not going to be a. They've just pushed that little American one, so now it's in the people's minds. Oh my God, look, they can do a cyber attack.
Yeah. And they're doing an exercise, Shill, I think it's the 8th of July, I think it's the 9th of July, called Operation Cyber Polygon, which is an exercise like Event 201. So they could pull it off this winter, I think.
Well, yeah. I think they're gonna, everything's gonna test us, innit? And I think it's gonna be it could be the fittest, or it's going to be the fight for who survives if they hit us with that cyber attack. And then I think they're going to pile it all into the next few years. To be fair, I think they're going to do the cyber, the war, what else was there? The bank crash. I think all of that's going to come all at once.
Great Depression as well. Which I think will be the bank financial crash, like you said, Shill. So.
Yeah, and it looks like it's coming from the 5th of June. So you can see there's the CV's coming, and the only realism of the CV is headlines, and it will disappear in the headlines, exactly like Brexit did, right? There was nothing really happening in Brexit. We don't give a fuck about it, but everyone pretended they did, or a lot of stupid people, right, acted like they knew a lot. And I'm going to vote for this, and it was again just to get people to go and give their power away. But it's just
I find this interesting.
Headlines.
Yeah, with Brexit, Nigel Farage said that now he's finished with Brexit, he's going to focus on the threat of China because he thinks China's a threat. So obviously, there's something building up.
Yeah, they're going to have another nutcase, of course. Oh, this one man, now we must go and and get all the people behind them. Now, but they might even turn around and say, like we expect maybe that CV 1984 was the Communist Chinese Party would set this out on purpose and spread it around the world, and it was to depopulate. And now we got to go to war, which will depopulate, of course.
Yeah, and then you've got Russia, which is highly involved with this cyber polygon exercise. They could blame Russia for the cyber attack or something.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why Biden's your fake president now, to start war with Russia, so that they can make it more enemies as such. And then your Trump's going to come along, and that's when the war will start with China, when Trump comes back, because
he's the 9/11 president, isn't he, or something like that?
Yeah, you got two enemies then, ain't you, for the number one power of the world? And it's so obvious that's how the little script goes as such, to take America down and make it communist. If that's how it plays out, that's what they want to play out. But have
you guys ever heard of something? Yeah, I think you're right. And have you ever heard of something called the Five Eyes? The Five Eyes.
You sent me about it.
So the Five Eyes is basically the UK, the United States, Canada, New Zealand, and Australia. They're the Five Eyes, and it's an alliance. I'll just read it now because it's really interesting. It's even got GDP in it and all sorts of stuff. And so the Five Eyes is an intelligence alliance comprising Australia, Canada, New Zealand, the UK, and the United States. And do you know what the logo is? Each of the flags has an eye. The Five Eyes. These countries are parties to the multilateral UK-USA agreement and treaty for joint cooperation in a single intelligence. The population of the Five Eyes is 464,746. Got a GDP of 26 trillion. And I think they even wanted to include Ireland for the Six Eyes. Can you imagine if on the 6th of June, Ireland joins it as the Six Eye?
On the 6th for the 6th, yeah.
But basically, how they're working is with our international laws, they can't spy on people in certain situations. But then with this Five Eyes that Jack's mentioned, they can loophole around it all, can't they, Jack? So that they can spy on us all from different countries. That's why they've set it up.
You've got to remember, I'm not saying us, but I think the UK, the US, maybe Australia and Canada as well. I'm going to be honest. I think that this is the evil, the axis of all evil. because they're the countries that I know it don't matter what country you're in, all governments are evil. They're the ones that are like the main ones that start everything.
Well, they're the powers, ain't they? So that's where the evil's got to, because they've got the powers. So it makes them
the UK.
Like you,
everything seems to involve the UK and the US and Israel as well, of course.
Of course, yeah. I was going to say something then, but I can't think what it was now. It was about pointing labels and that, I think, at people.
Yeah.
Oh, no. What you were saying?
Everything is a label. Everything's a label.
Of course.
Like,
I know what
we're British. We're British. Oh, they're American. They're Russian. They're Chinese. We hate them because they're Chinese. We hate them because they're Japanese or whatever.
Of course, everyone was programmed to hate Muslims when I was at school, and like,
yeah,
I didn't fall for it myself, if I'm honest with you. But
it's like, did. Yeah, I mean, I look at this. I thought about something. I think I said to one of you two about the Jews and how everyone hates now. Well, not everyone hates the Jews, but all like people looking for the truth seem to hate the Jews and blame the Jews because they think they're behind everything. But
that's what I was just about to say before, which I couldn't remember. Was like,
yeah,
it's almost like they try and point the finger at everything else, but not the actual thing.
It's like when people say the Jews did 9/11. It's like, really, you think that some average family, Jewish family in Israel, is behind 9/11? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of evil Jewish people that are part of the frigging satanic cult at the top, but they're just they're basically a disgrace to their religion, if any religion, Christian, Muslim.
What I say is, like, the Jews and the celebs, they've got one thing in common, and that's a lot of money, because they're paid to look like the bad ones as such, yeah?
Yeah, but they're being framed.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like a paid to framed, yeah. Definitely paid to frame.
But when you look at Israel as a whole, like on the Diego website, they lose like 4/5 of the population. It goes from 5 million down to 1 million.
It's disgusting what's going on there now. You've seen it, ain't you? Because you were speaking to me about
and the thing is, I can't believe I'm saying this, because I used to blame like the Jews. I used to like hate on the Jews. And I don't agree, although I don't know really about Israel. I think it's just there to be destroyed, really, to be honest. It's there to be destroyed.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It's been set up to be destroyed.
Yeah, and a lot of people are going to die for it. And there's a lot of children, a lot of families that are just going to die in Israel. And people are not going to give a shit. People are going to be happy. Oh, I'll say all the Jews and all that are gone. Yeah, now everything, and they're just going to think everything's going to get better because the Jews are gone. It's like, they're not at the top. They are not. It's just people are being programmed to believe that they are, if you know what I mean. It's like when you look at all these celebrities, like Mark Zuckerberg is Jewish or so-called. Are they really Jewish, or are they just? Is that just their fake persona?
Yeah, they're Jacobites. I think Zionism is Jacobites, and they've given it. They put it in the Wikipedia as Jewish, so they give this impression. So all the bankers are Zionist, and they all go, "Oh, they're Jews," but in theory,
I was going to say, because I don't know if you watched that video that I put out. It was basically this. It was this Israeli guy. I wanted to get, because I like to get point of views of everything, and he's against the Catholic Church and the Pope and saying it's the Antichrist, and you had all these Jewish people saying, "Oh, I'm against the New World Order. I hate this New World Order," stuff like that. They're against the vaccines, they're against the New World Order. I mean, the jab, the New World Order.
Yeah.
So it makes me think that, I think it's just one of those things. It's like the Muslims have got people to hate the Muslims, the mainstream people to hate Muslims, because they think, because of all these false hoax attacks that they stage, and so people hate the Muslims and blame the Muslims. And I think it's the same in people that are looking for the truth, or when people like us that realize what's going on and thinks that everything, they realize that the world isn't what it seems. They've created this psyop to get them to believe that the Jews are behind everything. But I think it's just another psyop. Divide and conquer as well, isn't it, Jack? What you're mentioning there, and people now are going to you watch, there'll be some people on here that they'll probably think, oh, he's a Zionist. No, fucking hell, no, absolutely not. I'm not a Zionist. I'm not a Jew, and I don't support Israel, and I don't, I don't know. I think it's just one of those things, isn't it? It's one of those things you're on one side or another. It's taking sides. Are you Palestinian or you're Israeli?
The only label I like to be associated with is pro-humanity, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you are, whether you're a Jew, Christian, Muslim, I don't know, atheist, or
it's good and bad in everything.
Or I don't know, if you aliens.
Yeah.
But
it's good and bad.
Like, as long as you're against this evil, because there's a lot of evil at the moment. There's obviously this one eye. The only thing, like this one eye religion, whatever they call it, the all-see that's infiltrated within Freemasonry. That's the only thing. That just needs to fucking go, because there's so much evil in that. They lure kids in as well, and they get them to worship stuff, Satan. But then, then again, how much of that is actually true? So,
well, you either you turn your heart into a hater, or you turn your heart into an earth where you're grounded, right? And you got to stay grounded. So don't, that's why they brought in all these different religions. So people all hate on other religions. They've used religion to try and get you to hate. They even have people on YouTube going around calling you names because they want you to hate, right? I pity them, right? And what's the opposite of jealous is pity, right? I just pity these people. I feel sorry for them. I think there must be something in their childhood.
It's like fighting. It's like fighting or saying, whether you're a Muslim, Christian, Jew, or Buddhist or whatever. It's like, oh, my God's right. Oh, my God's right. Oh, my belief's right, and it creates an argument. So I think that's probably why religion was created in the first place.
Of course it is. It's all about it's all about frigging division. Everything they've lined up is about division. It's whether or not you're going to take the bait and become a hater, or whether you're going to stay grounded, right? And it all comes from the heart, doesn't it?
It just makes. I don't know what to think. The Luciferians, I think that's what the Freemasons are. The Luciferians. They is it like they believe like in light or something, or they believe they're the light. They
believe strange, that Lucifer's the morning star, isn't he? So they see it as the light, the bearer of lights, Lucifer, and that. I know what you're saying. Yeah, that's like their god.
But you think like luck, right? They make you say you're lucky, Lucifer, right? Luck. It's all in again, but we don't know. Again, it's like people want to hate on Lucifer. Are they telling you to hate on Lucifer because you're supposed to love Lucifer? You don't know. I just stay well away from all of it and just go, right, I'm just going to work things out for myself. Stay true to myself, and not bother listening to any of their fucking shit or guess what they really believe, because what they tell us they believe and what they're telling us they do and showing us all these hand signals and eyes, and they're putting that out there on purpose for us to react to it, right?
Yeah. So the best thing to do is not to react to it.
Don't get you into fear, because a lot of it's to do with fear. Clearly, they're trying to scare people, and again, that might be to do with the what we said earlier about putting us on a negative charge. And the world, as soon as the world's all on a negative charge, which it definitely is today, they've done a great job of getting the world negative, right?
Yeah. And that's what I mean. Isn't that evil in itself, though? Because they're deceiving.
Well, it depends. Like they're not deceiving in their eyes because they're only acting. See, that's why they're all actors. Because if I'm shooting someone or saying something in a film, I'm not going to walk away and feel bad about myself, am I? Because I was just playing a role.
I mean, it could all be. That's why I had a thought at the start that maybe that all this stuff we're told that they sacrifice and kill people. Maybe it's just an illusion again to get people to.
That's what I hope.
Because when you look at the QAnon shit that was taking place last year, fucking hell, people still actually. I can't believe people still believe that, but. They were getting people to believe that that they were killing people and eating people's skulls and stuff like that. And I don't know. I mean, is that the case, or is that just another reaction, like you said?
Yeah, well, we unless you got to take everything as long as it's hearsay, it's always hearsay. Yeah, nobody here can probably. Well, I hope nobody here can go down and say, yeah, they're doing this, and I can prove it in a court of law, and therefore it's always hearsay, isn't it? So until I see something, I'm not going to say for definite, right? It's certainly the evidence to what we hear and what we see them doing, and things that other people might say sort of point that way, but. It's still not clear evidence to us. We haven't got anything solid to say, yeah, they've definitely done
it. Could all just be fake. I'm hoping it's all fake. Everything in this world is fake. It's just, and that's their secret. That's their secret. That's their deep secret. Everything in this world is fake, even their one-eye secret religion. Because if you think about it, that one-eye religion, the Illuminati, even like most mainstream people know that. They talk, it's... The one-eyed triangle, I knew that before I was even awake. I saw that symbol before I was even like woke up.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. We're meant to see it, ain't we?
So it makes me wonder, like, is it just another like Easter egg? Because they call them Easter eggs in films where they put things in for the next series, like Black Mirror. They put like. For example, there was a poster of metal, of an episode in one of the earlier episodes about what's to take place in the further episode. So maybe it's just one of those Easter egg things.
Could well be, but like Shill was saying, we can't prove them things because they're not in our reality as such, are we? Which goes back to what you're saying there, Jack. We don't know if that's fake or real.
No, I mean, it could, like we said, who are the main people in this world? Who are the most powerful people in this world in the mainstream are actors. They're all actors. It's like you said, Mayfield, like it's like one big acting corporation or whatever,
Yeah,
entertainment corporation.
And they've got rules. If you're such a psychopath, right, that's just prominent, just want to take on the world, they're following rules. They're staying within certain boundaries of law. Hence, government guidelines. Oh, CV 1984, but Corona, right? It's because they can't say, oh yeah, well you can find it. They could have just said, we got CV and call it that all the way through, but they don't. And when you see the stories, they always say, oh yeah, they died of Corona, not and it's. So they've got big boundaries that they're guided by. And why is that? Because clearly they believe in God's law, right? So there is a God or a creator or, that they're restricted by. And the way they're using their methodology to screw with our heads in that is to be actors, to keep within the boundaries of the law. And that's what we prove when we speak to the police. Like the police haven't come and arrested me. They haven't taken me out. They haven't, so they're all, like
even the mainstream media is exposing the police at the moment for some reason. I don't know what it's for. Like, but for some reason, police have been put in the bad light. I don't. There must be an agenda behind it.
Oh, definitely.
Well, I can see that.
Showing it. They got a lot of these auditors in America now trying to push everybody into like some law thing with lawyers and all this and acting like and all the people are behind them, because they've got a game plan, and it might be just a case that they're trying to convince them that someone's taking care of things, right? But they're all again pushing Trump, right? It's funny
for 4 years though. Apparently that's going to go on for 4 years. They've got to wait for it. I mean, I don't know how long Biden's going to he probably dies.
I think 2022, mate. I think Trump will return in 2022 personally, because it's 1222 Golden Bull. So 800 years later, the Golden Bull Award, which is bullshit, Golden Bullshit Award. And I think that's when it's, and I think that's what they're running down to through this year now, is to slowly convince everyone that Biden was, it was a bad fake election, Russia involved, blah, 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 or whatever. And then all of a sudden in 2022, it'll be revealed that, oh yeah, Biden didn't have all those votes. It's all a mistake. And then Trump will retake the seat or something. Who knows how they'll play it. But
maybe that'll be the first, I think some people said it'll be the first American dictator or something like that.
Yeah.
With as well, we've got the Queen. I don't think she's got long left. I think she may die 99 days after Prince Philip, maybe 99 weeks. No, don't know. Have that in mind.
And then he wanted to come back as a virus, didn't he? So
yeah,
it's funny that he died just at the end of the virus. It's quite funny. Mm-hmm.
But I think that when the Queen goes, we've got Prince Charles. I don't know. I think
that would be it, Jack. You know, especially with that deep fake at the Christmas of the Queen. I think that was them mocking the royals, as if to say,
do you think she's already gone? Do you think she's already dead?
No, I think she's still here, probably, but not in public light. Yeah, so she's probably just out. This is what I personally think. I don't know, but I think she's just out of sight, just having her last days, and she'll probably just pass away. And when she passes away, I think that'll be the end of the royal family, and that's why Prince Charles is all in with Klaus Schwab and that, because it will end up being all that being the royal family as such, like the United Nations.
Yeah,
that's what I think. But it just makes sense. Why is he chilling with them when he's meant to be the next thing, isn't he? And it's like they're going to get rid of him
because he's all over the World Economic Forum, isn't he? He's all over him.
So my personal shout is when the Queen's gone, that's the royals done, but they won't announce it until she's gone out of respect. But she probably knows anyway.
When you look at the royal family's chat, they've got a YouTube channel, and when you look at the royal family, the first video I think, or one of the videos is Great Reset. They've literally on the royal. Why would the royal family talk about the Great Reset?
That's it. It's dodgy. It all links up, innit?
Yeah.
But she did announce last. She announced last year at the beginning of Corona she was not going to be seen in public again. And ever since I've seen her, it's not her. You can tell it's that deep fake shit. Every one of them. And it's like she told everyone they have to embed confessions and tell you.
It's like when she was in a mask. You really think the Queen would wear a mask? Really? At Prince Philip's funeral?
Yeah, that was nuts.
Looked like a Masonic lodge, didn't it, inside with the black and white squares?
It was. That was definitely a lodge. I don't know which one it was called, but that was 100% some satanic place, that was. But you don't know if they just made pictures up for the TV for that, do you?
No.
Don't know how good the technology is.
The Queen would wear a mask. Or I don't even know about the royal family. I mean, all the royal family, all the Prince Charles and all that, and Prince Philip and Prince Harry, and was it actually them?
Yeah, they're just actors. They're brought up, and they're probably born into the acting academy, like most of them are, right? So they're completely trained just to act.
So it's all fake. The whole royal family concept is just bollocks. And it's not there, and it's just a costume. Right? They're just wearing costumes.
Magic. Yeah. It's
but like when it does look like when you look at it though, we're told with the fairy tales and all the stories we're told about princesses, queens, and kings, it's pretty much that. It's just on a bigger scale.
Yeah, and of course, like you say, Disney, like we all brought up to love the princess. They're always the good people in the stories, right? The ones. So when we get older, and of course, we just automatically, or most people just automatically wave the flags, cheer. Oh yeah, and it's all the patriotism and other cult.
What I find weird about the patriotism stuff and all that is like when you look at countries, you get. I mean, Donald Trump's met up with and shaken hands with Kim Jong-un, who supposedly killed people. All the world leaders meet up. They all meet up together and they all have discussions. Every country is part of the United Nations, which is a corporation.
But 2 days before they
all have meetings. They all shake hands. They all have pictures together, and that's even with the countries that we're supposedly against.
2 days before they went to, they were having big beef. They ain't actually officially gone to war yet, but Putin and Biden were having big beef, and then next 2 days later they're on a climate change chat together, and it's like, how the fuck can't the masses be
exactly
that? They're arguing 1 minute and then they're going on a live chat.
Well, during World War II, I think it was Prince Philip, wasn't it, who was a good friend of, or one of them, or it might have been the king, I can't remember, who was a good friend of Hitler. Henry Ford was supplying Hitler with trucks for the war. It's like, can't people see through the show? Like, what you really think if there was this great, everyone's a patriot for the American great car company and this great American patriot Ford is giving Churchill, it's helping him in his war succession, right? It's just ridiculous.
It's like who reports? When Kim Jong-un does like nuclear tests and stuff, and the stuff going on in North Korea. I mean, who in North Korea report? I mean, no one's really supposedly allowed into North Korea. So who in North Korea reports to BBC News what's going on? I mean, how the heck does BBC News know?
Well,
do you know what I mean?
They've got to keep they've got to keep the threat, so they just use one, don't they? They've got to keep these people. So anytime they want to throw him in just to keep people, there's
and who's filming him?
Weapons, right?
Who's filming him? Who's filming him? Who's filming Kim Jong-un walking, smiling, waving, and then sending it to BBC News? Who's doing that?
I don't know. Do you think?
Another thing as well.
Go on.
Another thing as well is the ISIS thing. When they say ISIS claims responsibility for this attack, ISIS told BBC News that they claim responsibility. Who the heck is ISIS, and how the heck did they manage to get hold of BBC News to tell them that they would claim responsibility for the attack?
Hello, BBC. Hello, this is ISIS, mate. Just letting you know that attack today, that was us. Oh, right, okay, report, no problem.
Bollocks, isn't it? It's laughable.
It's like going back to what you said with the World War II, they had to change the royal's name and that so that it didn't look too sus. They changed, I think Coca-Cola it was. They made Fanta, didn't they? So it didn't look too sus because people would have seen that all the contracts and that were all still linked up and all the people were all still speaking behind the scenes. A lot of the stuff in England lost all its, even I think Alsatians, that become a name from German Shepherd, didn't it? They had to change everything so it didn't look like they were still entwined as such. It sort of just creates a false enemy in the brain, but there ain't really. The only enemy is them who are in power on humanity as such. So there's that divide and conquer again. But the Romans were obviously here before the religions were here, which is splitting up the masses. So they're using tricks from back then, ain't they?
Yeah.
And like you said, Shill, they've done that much testing on people over the years with psychological shit. They know humans inside out now,
Yeah, that's if you get to the psyche of man, then you can control them, and clearly that's what they've worked on for many years. They know the psyche of man. They know exactly how they'll react, right? They know how the masses will react to everything they do, and they've got it spot on so far, haven't they?
That's why I think this all happened before, mate. I think that's why I think this has happened before, because everything just falls in perfectly with the like you said, with the technology and all the stuff that happens. Like with the TV came out, everyone had a TV in the house around about the same time the moon landings took place. Yeah. Or the staged moon landing.
Yeah. Probably
just got bigger and bigger and bigger.
Watched, right? Probably the biggest show ever watched at the time was probably the moon landing. They all quick, get around, they're landing on the moon. And we'll see Mr. and Mrs. Spoon. Nobody notices. It's like, that's not Mr. and Mrs. Spoon. That's the real astronauts.
And what I find interesting as well, mate, is that in when 9/11 happened, that's when the internet started to become a thing. Straight after, so it makes me think that was. I think 9/11 was probably an operation to try and get people to wake up. I don't know.
Well, it woke a lot of people out there. Sorry, get my words out.
That was so obvious.
It's all part and parcel, wasn't it? Everything's linked, and they use each agenda has many different reasons, right? So again, to get everyone into looking what's going on here. This don't seem right. They feel like they've just been demolished, and and people start to question. Then they start to go and find us, and they were given the internet of all this wealth of information in the last 20 years, say, of all the shit coming down around us. We get all this information to hand, right? It's not by coincidence, man. It's not, it's just not. So
I mean, I think internet. It's like internet, like a net in it. You catch things with a net.
Yeah.
It's like you're going into a net or something. Into a net.
In the website as well, Jack. It's a website, isn't it? Website as well.
website.
And then you got spider diagram, spider website, web spider, everything's linked.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But there is good points in the internet as well, because obviously we can have a chat like now and talk about things. You got good and bad in everything, ain't you? It's not all bad as such, but definitely there is a lot of bad to the internet. You have to have a break away from it. You couldn't be on here 24/7 looking down rabbit holes, because it would just send you loopy, wouldn't it? And you would definitely lose perspective.
I was looking into the. I mean, I had quite a few dark days looking into Brazil. And I wanted to look into a different country and how their celebrities and all that work. And I did, and they seem to do it a lot more than what they do it around here. Their celebrities, they literally, I mean, there's bloody kids child celebrities doing satanic hand symbols and mocking them for frig's sake. So they're brought up into it.
I will ask, Jack, do you think you're picking up on it more because you don't know the language and you're looking more for the body language?
I don't know.
Or do you actually see proper
full-on loads of the celebrities? They all do it, and you can translate what they say. I mean, there's a Brazilian actor, a Brazilian presenter. Literally, on one of his tweets, said, "I'm the work of the devil."
Yeah, it's a bit dodgy, isn't it? And then, what do they call it over there? It's Diablo, isn't it? Is it Diablo?
I don't know.
They use Spanish, don't they, in Brazil? I'm sure it's Diablo.
Portuguese, mate.
Yeah, well, it's the same as Spanish, really. A little tiny twang difference.
Diablo's a Lamborghini.
Is it?
Yeah, Lamborghini.
Yeah, true.
A golden bull on the Lamborghini. The Diablo.
What you find though is especially with that 5-hour video you put out, Lee, is what you find is a lot of them. This cult belongs to all parts of the corners of the world, because it showed all different types of people, from Asia to Africa to India to Europe to Brazil and America, everywhere. It showed everywhere. It's huge.
It's kind of
even all religions are part of it. Like the Buddhist, I think I can't remember his name now, but the main guy that's ahead of Buddhism, he's in it. He's doing all the symbols.
Oh, that Lama, whatever his name is. Oh no, you shared it, didn't you? Where he had the vaccine. I'm sure you shared it, Jack. Yeah,
I can't probably. But yeah, he's the head of the Buddhism community.
Yeah, he had the vaccine. And it was like, what the fuck? Obviously, he didn't have the vaccine. It was just fake for TV. Yeah, it is mad.
But it's the same everywhere. What I found out when I looked into Brazil, and I'm now looking into South Africa for some reason. I've looking at celebrities, and when you look at their TV shows as well, because I even looked into that, what TV shows they have, they're all the same. All over the world, they all have. It's like they have stupid game shows, kind of like what we have, Keith Lemon or Alan Carr and stuff like that. It's all the same all over the world.
Yeah, it's like they all have.
It makes me wonder what entity or something created all this, because obviously everything around the world is pretty much has the same agenda, and it just makes me wonder how this all started to be and how it managed to spread all over the world so fast.
Well, it has to be something more than humanity. You have to question at times, don't you? Yeah. Like it's a spiritual thing as such, but we have no proof or way of showing that. I was going to say as well, don't you think it's a bit mad out on the old maps that the land was all together, and now it's all split up?
Yeah. It makes me wonder, did they cause that?
Yeah, on purpose to make the split. Is there some way?
I generally believe this, and you call me a nutcase, whatever, anyone, but I believe that earthquakes are not natural. I don't think I can agree with that.
It's like volcanoes. I think they laser zap them somehow. I don't know. Yeah. Who knows if they've always had the technology there?
Especially this year, for some reason, the weather's really fucking weird this year. It's very bizarre. Like, it will rain and then it's sunny and it's even snowed on the same day. It's weird. I don't know if they're testing something.
They're pure pissing about with the chemtrails at the minute, ain't they? We've been talking about that a lot recently, but that sky is full of lots of shit, which is making that weather turn like it is.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
It makes me think we're in for a cold winter.
I went out last winter, Jack, and I've probably still got the videos on one of my channels somewhere. And I was recording the air, and it was that cold, but it was like icing in the air. And you could literally see crystals in the air. And I was thinking that ain't right. It's like they've sprayed something in the air.
You sure that's not smart dust or something? Yeah,
that's what I was just about to say. It's like they've sprayed something in the air, because then the next day you come out and you see like an ashy look all over the cars and that. You know, it's like, what the fuck was in that air last night? But there ain't been no rain, no snow. It's just really cold, really icy. But you see crystals literally in the air. And I'm thinking to myself, I never used to see that when I was a kid. See ice make the crystals, yeah, but not crystals being made actually in the middle of the air. It's like, what the fuck? But I recorded them. I'll have to find them and show you, because it's mad how it just crystallizes up in front of me.
Crazy.
It is, but that makes me think what you say is something to do with the chemtrail or some smartness that they put in there to make the weather switch like that.
I know where the answers are.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell. I don't know what you guys think about this theory. I think you probably heard about this theory before, but I believe our world is a lot bigger than what we're told. I think what the world we see of the map is just a tiny portion of how big our world really is. I think that there's much more land out there. And I think there's other people like us out of this known world that we know. And it makes me think that we're maybe like a North Korea of a much bigger world out there. Because when you look at our world, like North Korea, you have checkpoints. In this world, you have checkpoints. You can only go to certain places and you have to check in. You know, we're not free to walk around this world. We're a dictatorship. And it kind of makes me wonder if North Korea is just like a mockery for our actual known world, if you know what I mean.
I don't know, man. I think
that's crazy. I know it's crazy freaking theory though.
Well, no, there's not a crazy theory, is there? Because with nobody knowing, everything's possible, isn't it? And as we see, a lot of things that we didn't think were possible probably 30 years ago, we're going, what? You know. So
well, to go back, I was just boiling my kettle then, so I was on silent. But go back to what you were saying there, Jay. You just got to look at like when Elon Musk is telling humans that they can go and live on Mars, but yet we can't go and live on Antarctica. What the fuck's going on there? So there's obviously something hid there for him to be telling us.
It just makes me think about the Truman Show with the big dome over it.
Well, the rainbow, like you said yesterday, you could see the dome in the rainbow, can't you? The dome's there, so there's something there. Even if
you see it all over, like the Simpsons movie, it's a dome, and then you know, and interested in that, everyone gets trapped, don't they? No one can escape it. That was interesting. That big dome.
The actual movie. I don't know if I've seen it. I would have seen it. Was it years ago? Yeah.
Simpsons movie. But it just makes me think that. Yeah, I don't know what we're on. It could be a massive, massive studio, and maybe our world is absolutely gigantic compared to what we know. And there's many more people out there that are probably, heck knows. Maybe like the mirrors we see are all cameras. Oh, I'm going nuts now. Who knows, right?
No, you wouldn't know. Yeah, possible. Could be cameras for someone somewhere. Would be funny if you got your life played back to you afterwards, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You sat there and you had to watch it all. Like, fuck's sake, I've got to watch all that shit now. Some of it will be entertaining. Some of it will be like, what?
Yeah.
What's up, man?
I don't know.
I can agree with it. Staying. Go on, say what you're saying, Shell.
I was going to say the answers are blowing in the wind, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we know though. I think it was one of you two. I think it was Shill shared a video with. It showed. I think was it Wyoming in America and the Yellowstone National Park. And on the map, you've got like it's like a lake, and it looks like a man that's dropped a bomb or something. I think it was you, Shill, that showed it.
Yeah, that was a long while ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. the map. I kind of remember saying on Yellowstone. That was, I don't know, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's a long time ago.
Yeah, it was just basically, it showed a picture of a man dropping what looked like a nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
And that was a lake. It was a lake shaped like that. And it's right next to the national park. And I think he was pointing out like how America is on like a minefield or something. And it's all set to go off at a certain time.
Yeah, I think America's been set up, like all the positions of everything in America's been lined up perfectly, hasn't it? I think it's been lined up as the old Babylon, personally, or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's all,
when people say we're in biblical times, it makes me think that maybe the Bible is all about, like, when it's happened before, the Bible probably was like we are now, like, with the others phones and the internet and stuff. Who knows? Maybe it's just a repeat, right? I don't know.
Yeah, it could well be, mate, because if the world's spinning like a clock, it goes around and then it hits 12 o'clock and then it restarts and goes back around, maybe something like that. Because another song is Oasis, where it tells you can't change what's been and gone. And it almost like we've already done this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always listen. I'm always going, "What? We already done this? We've already been here." And that might be why you get what's it? Where you feel like you've been there before. What's that called?
Deja vu.
Deja vu. That's it.
Yeah, it could well be. You wouldn't know.
Well, we've all had deja vu, right?
Yeah, 100% many times, especially when I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm like, I swear that's just happened.
Like, someone's going to reply exactly, and when they reply, you knew exactly what they were going to say and things like that, right?
Yeah, well, that does happen a lot, to be honest.
Yeah.
Someone put an interesting video about the North Pole being the exit point or something. It was really interesting, saying that all this is just a game, and you'll keep on playing it and restarting and playing again until you've found the exit point.
Yeah, the exit. And that's in, what's it called? And it's sitting behind that girl, the exit. It's like, come on, what? Tell me, I'm trying to figure out the bloody exit, man. Because fuck me,
maybe it is Antarctica. Maybe Antarctica is the exit. That's why we can't. That's why we're told we can't go there. It's like in the Truman Show, with the boat, and he's trying, and they're trying everything they can to stop him from going towards the exit, which is like the Antarctic. When you look at the Antarctic, and it is in it. It's an ice wall on the Truman Show. It's an ice wall when he exits the dome, the studio.
Some suggest that they've got a Stargate there or something. That's what some people suggest, like some way of some sort of dimensional travel or something.
There could be more countries outside of there could be more countries we don't know about, or more land. People like us, but maybe they're more free than what we are, and that's why they don't want us knowing. Who knows?
Tough, isn't it? It's tough. It's all just like, it's a guessing game still. Like we say, the more you know, the less you know, right? The more you find out, the further from the actual, like, you seem to get further away than you feel like you was at the beginning.
It's that saying, isn't it? The more you know, the less you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
What you just say about Antarctica? You could get there. Could do that with the ice wall, and then it could be the next world, and then it could do that with an ice wall again. Do that with an ice wall again.
Worlds. And it's just the same. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe there's people out there that know about our known world, and they see us as a North Korea, and said, "Oh, you don't want to go there. There's evil shit going on there."
Look at the word as well, Antarctica. If you break it down, and then a ticker, so something ticking away there. Antarctica. Don't know. Or it could be a tricker. Antarctica.
Yeah. What I find very weird though is when you look at the Earth, you can't go when you go on a map, you can't go up and down, but you can go sideways. That makes sense. It's like
on the planes you're on about. On the map, sorry. But the plane
even
flights
on Google Maps. Sorry, on Google Maps. If you go, you can go. For example, you can go sideways towards Russia, and then you'll end up back in the United States. But what I find weird is when you can go sideways, and you can continue going sideways, and it'll constantly be like a.
Do you know why they might do that though, Jack? My little suggestion, because the flat Earth thing is obviously to cause a divide and an argument. So they could settle things like on Google so that the flat earthers are like, look, it don't do this. That's why, because it gives them a bit for their argument as such. But it is strange how the planes will only fly one way. They only go one route, don't they? They don't go the opposite way. It's very strange how that goes. And there has been a few routes where people have been pregnant and have had to be dropped off, and they've ended up in a country that was just never on that route. And it's like, how did they end up in that country with an emergency stop?
Has that actually happened then?
Yeah, about 3-4 times. There's been pregnant women, and they've been dropped off in countries, and that no one can work out how they've got in that country from where the flight was going. And it's like, that don't make sense. And my granddad, because he's all like into science and all that bullshit, because he's a teacher, he is religious, but he says that the earth moves as you fly in, and he reckons that makes it change or something. But I'm just like, no, you're getting too deep into twisted shit there that don't exist. It is weird how some people.
Who knows? Well, the way the world works, it just everything going on at the moment, everything just falls into place perfectly. So it just there's something beyond that we're not being told, and I don't think the world is what it seems.
There's a big event coming, isn't there? Corona is a preparation. Yes, it will be the banks, and yes, it will be the war, like Shill said. But I almost feel in myself like there's something massive spiritually happening as well.
I find weird,
if it's good or bad, I don't know.
This one world religion thing they talk about, what I find very strange is, I don't know if you've heard about it. I can't remember what they're called now, but they do these videos. He's based in London, and he does short sci-fi movies. And I can't remember his name, but I think he's a shill. Because it's kind of like predictive programming. They're telling people what they're doing, but everyone's just saying good film, that was a good movie. I like that in the comment section. But they're not.
So they're just taking it in subconsciously.
I do not want this. So they're telling people what's to come in it. And there was one called Project Bluebeam, a stage alien invasion. I mean, friggin' heck. I mean, it seems unbelievable, and I personally don't think it will happen. I don't know. I think it's just one of those things, but. Could be wrong.
One thing they could do with the Project Bluebeam, because I've always thought that alien invasion could be AI, because it stands for alien.
Yeah. It'd definitely be like something lights in the sky or something that looks.
I think CV was it. I think CV was the alien invasion.
Well, if it was still to come, Shill, what I think could be a good one, which they might try and pull off, and even I would fall for it. I'd actually be convinced by it, to be honest. They could say that the world's run by aliens. And if they said that one, even I'd be scratching my head going, you know what, is this actually true?
Yeah, but like it's like the stuff with like what David Icke puts out in it, like the lizards and shit like that. It's trying to get people to maybe seem to the ordinary masses that crazy.
Well, we said earlier, didn't we, about Brazil being reversed, almost lizard, right? Lizard. But
I've looked into Brazil, mate, and Brazil. I think that's the center of where the frigging all the shit happens, because no one really talks about it much. Everyone's got the finger pointed at the UK and the US, haven't they?
Yeah,
and Israel.
And Hungary as well. Hungary's another one. That's no one talks about Hungary, right? When do you ever hear about Hungary? And that's where the 1222 Golden Ball was, and all the. The Knights Templar, they were all over there at that time. They were all part
of the Golden Ball. Seem to be in Brazil at the moment, mate, though.
The Golden Ball and the Knights Templar.
The 2030 agenda was in Brazil. The first 2030 agenda. What was it called? Agenda 2030 Summit was in Brazil.
The Golden Ball and what's it? They're to do with Temple Mount as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Golden Ball was to do with Moses' story. And then what else did you mention then, Shill, with the Golden Ball? Sorry.
That it was Hungary and the Knights Templar and all that.
And the Knights Templar, the Knights Templar had to do with the Temple Mount as well. They were the ones that fucking basically named it. So
What is it? 600. The Georgia Guidestones were put up 666 years after the death of the first Grand Master of the Knights Templar, or something like that.
Yeah, the last Grand Master of the Knights Templar died exactly 666 years before. And then it was 40 years after, of course, that we had our last Freedom Day in the UK to the date on the 22nd of the 3rd, the 322.
Oh, yeah.
I still think
what I find interesting is, I was
just going to say, I still think it's still going to be an important day, 201 days, event 201 on year 21, agenda 21, that day on the 20th of July. That's Colombian Day of Independence. Washington is District of Columbia. All TV and that's all Colombian district, and there just seems to be big symbolism that's pointing to a big event that day. I might be wrong in thinking it'll be the Temple Mount, but to me, that's the only way I can feel that they can make one world religion is in that place. And like you say, Israel's been set up to be destroyed.
Yeah.
And they want to implement it. So,
the destruction of Solomon, to do with Solomon's temple.
Yeah, that's what I'm on about. Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems to be pointing that way, but I could be wrong. Could be something else. But I do think that day has big alarm bells ringing around.
We're already seeing like a lot of shit going on in Israel at the moment with like they're talking about is it Hamas and rockets?
Yeah, well, I put a Hamas video up last night, chat, and all they were doing was loading up the missiles, and they fucking struck me off for it. And it weren't actual violence in it. I've put videos up where they're fucking beating the shit out of each other and that, and they still leave them standing. But this one, they didn't want it up there. It was like, we ain't showing people that. And I was thinking, why you struck me for that? And I've peeled it, but they still kept it struck.
I've just looked at it now, mate, actually. Independence got one. Jerusalem protests live. Tel Aviv under fire from barrage of rockets. Gaza holds funeral for 26 dead. Yeah.
Man.
They could be building up to something, who knows. But yeah, I think Israel's going to be like at the centre of of it all.
Well, the golden ball all rings into Moses. Moses had the ark, didn't he? And the ark had what they say was like a book of hidden revelations in it. So for them to be able to say, like, the only way they can kill the Bible really as it stands is to say that King Solomon and King David didn't exist. They were a myth and they were made up. So if they do that, then they've got to bring in a new religion then. So they'd have to bring up a book. Like in the iPad Goat 3, it's showing them teaching a Torah to the Muslim people. But that don't mean it's going to be a Torah. It could just be a new made up religion, or it could be Christianity revamped.
It could be the all-seeing eye religion that they want to bring to the rest of the world, maybe.
And they could bring it under a cover of a different name. It might not be called so blatant in our faces, but then I always question, is there going to be some big event by God or something that stops all that from happening? If it is some mad spiritual thing, it's weird. You don't know, do you? But I do feel deep down there's something huge happening this year. I can feel it building up every day.
Yeah. I said at the start of this year they're going to play it down a little bit in the first half of this year, which they have done a bit. There's been some stuff that happened, but not massive stuff. I think the second half of this year is going to really start to get a bit crazy.
Yeah,
like
it's going to turn
even compared to last year. So,
well, what did Klaus Schwab say? I think he was on about the cyber attack, but he said,
he did.
Basically, his words were
like a small comparison, basically.
A drop in an ocean compared to what's to come, and it basically. So.
Yeah. They're going to get this, isn't it? A drop in the ocean. What does he mean by a drop in the ocean?
Oh no, I'm just saying that, Jack. I'm just summarising.
Oh, right, yeah, okay. Imagine if he said that though, friggin' hell. Yeah. I was thinking about like the was it asteroid thing that you talked about causing a tsunami?
You never know, do you?
Or even a nuclear, but they could drop a bomb in the ocean. Or I don't know. I don't know about nukes. I don't even know if nukes exist. To be honest, I don't know.
Not really going to do.
I think the Beirut thing that happened last year. I think that was a test.
The way I see it with the nukes, Jack, it's like if you're a big hard man and you're threatening someone and you want them to do something for you, instead of hitting them, you keep threatening them and fear them, don't you? So you get them to do that thing for you. Because if you hit them, they've had their hit then and they ain't gonna do nothing for you. So it's like you're using the nuke as a fear tool, because even if there is evil on the planet and they do want to run the planet in their evil statistic way, they ain't gonna want to blow the planet up completely, are they? I don't think. I might be wrong, but even if you're evil,
backwards, we worked that one out, right?
It was Ra. I was thinking about that earlier, show. It was Ra.
What's that? What did you say, Shill?
Ra UCL. Ra UCL.
Ra UCL.
Ra LCUN.
Oh, did I get it wrong?
Sorry. It's like the Sun God C United Nations.
Oh yeah! Wow.
Or it could even just be Ra El Sun if you change the C for an S, right?
Could be. Mad how Solomon's sun and moon. I do find that mad how that name's that.
Solar moon, yeah. Solar moon.
Yeah. And soul man. You can make many anagrams out of it. Man. Wow. Switching it a bit.
Cool. I'm actually
crazy world.
Yeah, you guys just wanting it to like. I want the world to reveal itself. To be honest, I just want now. I'm just like fuck it. I'm just gonna sit and just watch it take place. That's all we can do, isn't it? Just get the popcorn and just let the world reveal itself. Whatever's to come.
I know what you're saying, because you try to tell people and they just don't listen. Just
try to warn people, but people don't. The funny thing is, I can't wake up my own family. I can't wake up my mum. Can't wake up my dad, my brother. I can't.
My little brother's all right, but the rest of the family, fucking hell. They all seem like they were awake at one point, and then I don't know what the fuck happened. I think the TV just transferred.
The same. It's the same with my brother. He said, "Do you think it might be real?" And I said, "Jack, Reese, no. I think it's. I've told you many times I don't." And this was near towards the start, and he was getting. I was glad he was actually waking up. And I said, he asked me, "Do you know what COVID stands for?" And I said, "Yeah, it stands for Certificate of Vaccination ID," which I think that's exactly what it is, because that's what they want everyone to have, an ID, don't they?
An ID. And then you got you got the AI with the 19 at the end as well, haven't you?
Yeah. And he was waking up, and then suddenly he just went back to sleep.
I got to go,
his
guys.
Girlfriend.
I got to shoot.
What do you say, mate?
I got to shoot.
Yeah, I'm gonna end this soon anyway. So
I'll speak to you in a bit, guys. Cheers for having us on. See you later, guys.
See you later. Yeah, I just think that in the what was I going to say? I just don't know why. Yeah, his girlfriend was basically taught him back into it, and and he now believes it's real and all that, and he can't wait to have his jab. So I'm just like, for fuck's sake. But that can wake strangers up. It's weird. It's almost like it's torture, really. It's like, I want to wake the people I love.
But I know that's what you're on the planet to do, to like look after the people you love and that, and they just don't hear it, and you're like, why are you listening to some strangers through a box that you're never going to meet, and that's not your reality, what you're seeing in that box? But
they've created a false world for everybody. Everything from the TV to reality shows to football to everything is fake. It's all there. It's all part of their agenda. It's all created by the state, and that's all everyone talks about.
With the football, it's almost like, when the Romans used to have the mad fighting in the ring. It's like that with the football, and you make it a ring shape and act like the Roman. I can't remember what they call it now, but they used to have the mad fighting going on, the battles, and that was their entertainment back then. And it's like the football's took over that now, and it's not as physically battling, but there's still a mental battle there where you get a loser and a winner as such. Like I think I said to you before, you can't name a sport now on the planet where there's not a loser, because it's all programmed to be they're all ego ridden. Every sport is like, you've got to be the best. They say it's the taking part that counts, but that's bullshit. You don't see people going cheering about the losers, do you, when they've finished the race?
Massive division.
No,
I
it's
think
true.
I think football's definitely Masonic. Absolutely. Just look at all that now, and especially now after watching that video of yours. When I see a manager or something shaking hands with another manager, it's like, oh my days! It's just there. You can see it. They always do it. It's in your face. You can't unsee it now.
Rooney used to do
it's annoying. You can't unsee it. Actually, to be honest, I can't even watch TV now. I can't even fake after watching. After looking at everything I've looked into the last few months, and the dark stuff I look into with with the celebrities and what they can get involved with. I just can't face the TV. I can't even look at them. It makes me disgusted. It really does.
I know what you're saying. I had lots of people on my Twitter and things like that, which I've just deleted over the months because I've seen them promoting vaccines and things like that. It's like you lose your love for what was your little finger such. You just think you're all signed up to the nines.
The good thing I look at it though is that all these people that are part of this cult and the celebrities, they're not free. They're told what to say. They're told what to do. They're given script. I mean, you and I and Shill, and we're not given a script. We just talk, don't we? We just talk and say what we want. They can't. They've got to keep hush hush. They're not free at all. They don't have freedom of speech. So that's something that we have that they don't. They don't have freedom of speech. They're stuck.
Half of the comedians in that, when they're met by people in real life, the people in real life will come back saying that they ain't even funny because all their shit's just writ for them to speak. It's like they haven't even got a human.
I think they just choose people. They just follow the script. Everything, even like the interviews they do, and all these TV. Alan Carr, for example, he has all the celebrities on, and they have jokes, and Keith Lemon. It's all just scripted. All of it. It's just fake. It's fake.
Did Keith Lemon come through with? Was he on the Ali G show or something at the start?
It's not even his name. It's not even his name. His real name's Lee Francis, I think.
Yeah, you're right. I've just remembered when you said that then, yeah. Makes you think why he changed it to that. There'll be a reason.
It's like Tommy Robinson. I know it's a totally different thing, but Tommy Robinson, that's not even his name.
No, they all changed their names.
I think that each celebrity, that the person, who they are in reality, whether it is all over the world, in China, Japan, India, Brazil, South Africa, Europe, UK, they're all given scripts, and they're all given a persona to follow, and they've got to follow it under oath, and they're not allowed to say anything, and they're just prisoners.
That's it. They're trapped in that. What's it?
And I wouldn't want to be that. I would rather be me.
Puppets.
They're puppets, and they're not allowed to talk. They're not allowed, they're not allowed to, and I bet you that's why a lot of them probably do get. I mean, I don't know how true it all is with the alcohol and drugs, but I'll say probably a lot of it is. Because they're given that lifestyle. They give they sell their soul, they sell their free will for money and riches and all the materialistic stuff, which is all stuff from the state and the powers that be. The people are controlling them, so they have more control of them if they swear oath to do as they're told. I mean, heck, you look at some of them though. Look, for example, Jacob Rothschild. He's supposed to be very, very extremely rich, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's still going out doing talks and stuff. I mean, if I was that rich, I would just want to get away with everyone and just fucking enjoy my life. And it's the same for any celebrity. They all just do different things, and it's.
My mate swears down that he met Jacob Rothschild when he'd done some community service work. He had to go and do it at some place out in the countryside. But before he said that, I would have said that he was just a fake person. But I don't even know if he's lying, because you can't trust what everyone says to you, can you?
No. I mean, exactly. We don't know these people. Boris Johnson, I think that's definitely a wig what he's wearing.
I can't think of many names now, but here's just one, for example, Jack. Usain Bolt, his name, and being a sprinter, Bolt.
That's interesting. You say Usain Bolt, I'll tell you why in a minute. Go on.
Yeah, but I'm just saying there's loads in different sports that their names fit the sport so well, and it's like even Tyson Fury. The Fury means fighting, doesn't it? It's like they're almost made up.
It's like Bill Gates. It's like Bill Gates. Money, money, Gates.
Billionaire,
Gates
Billionaire Gates, yeah. That's how I
I mean, Donald Duck. Donald Duck, Donald Trump. Donald Duck's like that idiot, isn't he? And
That's who I always
a bit
think
of a
of.
madman. In Disney,
my brain always thinks of Donald Duck when I hear Donald Trump for some reason.
Trump,
I always picture Donald Duck first. It is strange,
but the Usain Bolt thing is interesting. If you ever, there's a TV show called Bolt. A movie called Bolt. It's a Disney movie. It's about a dog, and he thinks his life's fake. Pardon?
I don't think I've seen it. Go on, speak about it.
He thinks his life, everything in his life's real, but it turns out everyone around him's acting, and is part of a TV show and a movie.
That's mad. Could be
and they're getting him to believe that everything's real. So that's another one. It's like a kid's version of the Truman Show.
Ah, mad. Just found a bit of my dog's tooth.
You've seen the Truman Show, haven't you?
Yeah, I've seen the Truman Show. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting that Jimmy Carr plays that, and Jimmy Carr also plays in something called The Mask, which is basically when he puts his mask on, it changes his personality altogether.
I think I've seen that. Is it like a comedy sketch thing where they sit around and he's doing all his jokes and that? Have I got that confused?
Oh, it's a movie.
Mask. Oh, it's a movie. Yeah. Oh, Mask. I've seen Mask. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
See Mask.
That's Jimmy Carr, the same one that plays Truman Show, and he puts a mask on, and it changes his behaviour and everything.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I know what film you're on about now. I was getting confused. It's nuts, isn't it? But yeah, like I say, there's many names out there that make me think that name's either
I think that all actors and celebrities and everyone that's up there, I think they're just prisoners. Maybe some of them are sex. The dark side of it is just they're all sex slaves.
But then, like I said earlier, it probably does work on a need to know thing. So if you wanted to be like Rihanna and that, like when she done her Umbrella song, that was her signing South to the Devil to Rain Man, and then after that song, she was just pure fame, like number one. As soon as she signed us out to the Devil, bang, she was like up there. So that makes you think that, because like my mum, she was all into her and my sister, and they went and seen her live, and they said that she was awful. It was like she was on drugs, like, or stoned up or something. Yeah, she couldn't sing properly and that. And I was saying to them I was probably a clone, and they were laughing at me saying that I was a dickhead. But it's like their lifestyle, from what I've seen in documentaries in the past, they have to have drugs to keep them active in the day, and then they have to take sleepers at night.
It's like that Black Mirror episode with Miley Cyrus in it. Yeah,
it's like they've got to do that to keep up with their lifestyle. It's impossible for them to do it naturally, because they're literally getting like 2 hours sleep a night for fucking 8 weeks on end while they're doing their tours and all that. So it does make you think.
The same with the movie stars as well. I just don't see them as free anymore. So anyone that wants to be a celebrity and all that, I don't think you do. I really don't. I think it looks like they've got such a good lifestyle, but I think they can't. And if they know about all this that's going on, it's like that. Frigging hell, they can't say a word, and it must absolutely destroy them. Some of them.
It's like that meme that used to go around on Facebook where the bloke's got his lawnmower and they show the top end of it, and he looks like it's on his motorbike. But then when they show the bottom end, you can see he's doing the garden, and it's like that's how they fake it on TV. He's really using a lawnmower, but it looks like he's got some big Harley Davidson bike to you on the TV as such. So they'll be doing that with the celebrities, making them out to be having this glamour lifestyle when really they ain't happy.
Be in their own prison.
And
they are mate. They are getting them younger. Like, I'm going to do a video on it, but there's loads of kids involved with this satanic cult, and they're mocking all their fans.
Well, how old was that Greta Thunberg when she come along? She was
exactly. I was going to say that actually as well. Greta Thunberg. Yeah. So they're getting them younger, and it's what's interesting is that they want to get rid of the old people as well. From what I've heard, from what I've looked into, it seems like they want to get rid of the older people. So you've got lower the life expectancy, kind of like Brave New World.
Like you say, it hits the younger generation, and it's easier to program them younger, such than going for the old.
They are definitely sexualizing children, which is fucking disgusting. It is definitely there's something dark going on in these things. As much as I'd like to think it's all fake, much as I'd love to think it's all fake, there's some dark stuff going on in it.
Yeah, I think someone told me. Someone told me something about like when you go on like for the kids when they go on these Instagrams and well TikTok, say for example.
Yeah.
I know that's owned by China and that, but they say when they go on it, they'll start off and they're on there and they're watching their, let's say, fucking Scooby Doo or something, yeah, just a little child. But slowly the algorithm will take them over to some gay or transsexual agenda, and the kids just kept pressing suggested videos. But it's like they've literally brainwashing the kid to go looking at them things. You know, it's like the phone's programmed to start programming the kid. It's very, very, very
an agenda there. Like with the LGBT stuff, they just push it so much, and I think
well, that's
it's
depopulation, isn't it? It's depopulation.
Yeah. And when I say when you know when people talk about depopulation and stuff, like do you think the 500 million? Do you think that that's just another game? Maybe.
I don't know. I always question with that. What is good? I'm glad you mentioned that. Actually, I always question is the 500. I think Shilmar said it before as well, and I always question this before he said it. Does it mean like 500 million normal humans, and the rest are all transhuman, and that they're all fucked up by this new digital age? So it might be that there's only that many humans left, and the rest are all robots as such, or clones. I don't know, but there's been a lot of clone stuff in the movies and that as well over the years that makes you think they might be in society, because there's been so many films, series and all that, and you know how they love to put the truth out there, but that could be psyops as well. But I'm sure most of these
you got to be careful with some of the stuff, because it can make you don't want to seem like crazy, do you?
No, and that's what they want to do. That's why you got your David Icke and your Alex Jones and that. So you get your 60% truth off them, but then they'll give you 40% crazy. So you go and repeat it and look like a complete twat, and it discredits the truth, because you've given them the alien with the truth, and they're like, that lad's just going on about aliens. He's off his head. But you've told them the truth at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I've been tricked a few times into stuff like that, but now I think I'm starting to kind of figure out stuff myself. So I'm watching different videos, shills or not shills. I just watch them for information, and then I decide what I do with the information. I think that's what we all need to do, and come up with, because we're all on a journey.
It's like digesting it and then keeping what's needed and then throwing out what's not needed as such, isn't it? That's the best way to put it. It's like you swallow it, and then what you need, keep what's valid to you in your life and your reality, what's going to change and impact your shit. Keep that bit, and then the bit that's not going to impact you, you sort of throw away as such.
I think the only truth we need at the moment, the actual truth out there we know, is we've been deceived massively. Yeah, we're all been deceived. That's the truth. And
like you said about 3 times, it would be lovely for that big reveal, but
it
seems far away at the minute, doesn't it? It's like it's not.
People
even
saying we're living. People keep saying though we're in biblical times and soon we'll all be revealed. I'm hoping it does. I'm hoping that is.
I hope so. I always think of that thing what I mentioned about because the Chinese, what they've done to get the power in Asia is they've stole all the water, because water's like big source of power now. But they've put that in the Three Gorges Dam, and at the bottom of the Three Gorges Dam, because it's not been like made to store all this water, which the Chinese have stolen, it's going to burst, because they've got it's not made to keep that in there. So would that be the good gods making that burst or not? You question things like that as such, and if that did, that could be like floods and that coming again.
I think it was in China, or was it Tibet or something? There's a statue that moved its feet.
Don't know if I've seen that. I'll have to have a look. Yeah,
and apparently that's supposed to symbol a symbol of doom.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's interesting.
But I don't know if it actually didn't move its feet, or it was just another one of those things that we're told.
Yeah, it could have been like CGI bullshit, but we don't know, do you? But it's worth keeping an open mind. Even if it was CGI, it could be them programming.
I'll tell you what, though, mate. I'll tell you what. You know that video you watched. Do you think there is black magic? Do you think that we're capable of so much more, but we've been deprived of it, or do you think that's just another
I don't know about the black magic as such. I suppose it is there because it's there in the language, isn't it?
I mean, it's not only there in the language, but you look at what we're using now. I mean, what we're using now, we're told it's not magic because it's been scientifically proven. But come on, look at the screens we're on. We're talking to each other from a distance. Animals can't do that.
No, it's true. And
I mean, could you say this is black magic? You know, like the Black Mirror.
Yeah,
the technology we're using is black magic.
When our voices are traveling to each other now, obviously it's going through a signal, but
it's supposed to be through mass in it and all that, but
but until that's captured as such, it's not in this reality until it's actually captured. Yeah, because it's the quantum. You're going to quantum physics then, don't you? And they ain't got a clue about that.
I think all the black magic that we're told, that exists is like in the technology and the AI that's coming out and the technology we're using.
Oh, you mentioned about QAnon earlier. I always think, like, is that some sort of symbolism to tell us that the government are using quantum computers to try and change reality? And that could be why they call it QAnon, because it's anonymous and I don't know.
I'll tell you something.
But obviously that's bullshit and it don't exist. But I'm just saying it could be symbolism.
It's like the butterfly effect, isn't it? They're trying to change what people thought they heard to what they didn't hear. I swear. When they say "No, I am your father" on Star Wars, I swear I've heard "Luke, I am your father." I swear I have heard that.
You're on about the Mandela effect, ain't you?
Mandela effect,
What they did there, I think, was they went through Google and they changed a lot of shit, like, because there was things that people had on VHS, the old tapes, and then they brought out DVDs. So they could change the films and make this little psyop out there as such, because people didn't really keep that old originals because it weren't on the VHS. You didn't use it. Yeah, you didn't use a VHS. So, and then they can easily change Google, but we've got that thing now on Google what's called the Wayback Machine, ain't we? I don't know how to use it, but you can basically go to the website on this thing and it will tell you if they've edited it, and it will tell you the date they've edited it, and it will give you the original post as well. Yeah, it'll be, if you know how to, you're quite good with computers, so go and have a look. It's called the Wayback Machine, and you can literally see where people are changing and editing things over time, and you'll probably find that's what's happened with a lot of this Mandela. Yeah, it's just on your Google. You just put Wayback Machine, it comes up. But I don't know how you use it. I'm gonna have to go because the dog needs to walk, Jack.
Yeah. All right, mate. I'll tell you something quickly. Yeah, I think as well, the internet is another deceiver, but at the same time, like if we use it like we are now, we've got a way of using it, haven't we? So, but I do think that this is all black magic, and I think that when they mean black magic, I think it means like the stuff like the TVs and the broadcasting, the spells, because it is. I think that is black magic what we're using now, because look at it, hundreds of years ago, or I don't know what. There was a time when you would not think any of this would be possible.
They got a monkey thinking at a computer screen the other day with the Neuralinks. Well, I said
exactly. That could be the black magic.
Yeah.
I think technology is the black magic.
Yeah, he was playing the computer game through his thoughts and literally controlling what was on the screen by what he was thinking. It was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Mad.
Anyway, mate.
Yeah. We'll call it a day because I've got to walk him in that. But nice one. It's been a brilliant chat, Jack. And I'm sorry I haven't said anything to anyone in the chat. I haven't put the chat up.
I'm just going to look at it quick now before I go. So I've got Truth, Seek Spirit. Hello. You all right? As always there. Phil, Sunmao, and Bright. Thanks for coming on. I haven't really looked at the chats.
No, I just concentrated on what we're talking on, because otherwise I'll lose track if
I got a little bit. Yeah, I was looking every now and then, putting it on the screen. Land Raver, Loophole. I don't know if I've missed anyone.
You showed up, man.
Thanks for coming on. Yeah.
No, that's good. We've got a good little show out. Fair play to you. And it was bang on 2 hours as well. We've done that good, Jack.
Oh, awesome. We'll leave on 2 hours then. Thanks, Lee.
Yeah, man. Nice one,
Thanks, everyone.
You're a superstar. See you all. Bye.
See you, Lee. See everyone else.